So it looks really light for some reason. I think it's just because I'm filming with like natural lighting today, because it's Easter, so I don't have to film like really late at night. Actually, it's quite late at night, isn't it? I'm filming at normal time, it's just like not dark anymore. It's spring! Spring has the colours! Anyway, today I'm really excited because I am back with a new revision video. You guys loved my last revision video, my science one. Like, so many people have subscribed from that, so if you are new, hi, welcome back. We're doing another one today. Today I'm going to be doing how to revise GCSE maths. Now, this has been so highly requested on both my revision videos, and everyone's just like, please do maths. So I'm like, okay, I'll do maths.
Hey, so I just wanted to hop in here and say I know one of the maths exams has already passed. However, most people do 2 or 3. I personally do 3. So if you're watching this now, then you still have another 2 or 1 exam to revise for. So I hope that you still find this helpful. I'm sorry that it took so long to get up, but basically I just had huge problems with my laptop and my editing software. But yeah, I hope that you still find this helpful.
Because there's so much that you have to learn for maths, it's really important that you do keep going over your topics and you try and revise everything, because maths is one of those subjects where pretty much everything is going to come up, and there's not like, you know, because with there being like 3 papers for maths, at least there are for my exam board, maths is one of those things where pretty much everything comes up, so you have to try and revise pretty much everything. I'm just going to jump into it. The revision guide that I'm using is the CGP one, and I absolutely love these. So the example that I'm doing is OCR. However, I do know that they do them for all the exam boards, like Edexcel, AQA. They're really good. So like the rest of my subjects, the way that I revise is pretty much just going through practice questions from all the topics. So first of all, get yourself a notebook. This is a very nice pink notebook, and it has a Clueless sticker on it because that's my favourite film. So at the front of my notebook I have this little thing, and it says all of the formulae that we have to learn for maths, because unfortunately now you have to learn the formulas. Like, why do we have to learn the quadratic equation? Don't really know why, it kind of sucks, but we do. So yes, it just has all the ones that I need to learn, and then I basically have a list of every single topic that I've ever covered in maths, ever. And this was given to me by my teacher, but you could even type one up yourself just using the revision guide and just going to the index page and just looking at all the topics, typing them up, and then basically what I've done is I've used highlighters to highlight how I feel about the topic. So in like pink I put the topics that I don't feel very strongly on, like if that came up in an exam I'd be a bit like, oh no. And then on green I said yeah, if that came up in an exam I'd be pretty like, okay, let's do this. And then orange is kind of like in between, like maybe, like I think I'd get it if I went over it, I've kind of forgotten. And the reason this is so important is because you have to revise everything in maths. It's really important that you're revising what you need to revise, just in case you don't get time to revise everything, because there's so much to revise. So I start my revision on all the red subjects, and then I move on to the orange subjects, and then onto the green subjects if I get time. So I'd look at my list and look at just subjects which I don't feel I'm doing very well on, and then I'd go and find the page in my revision guide that covers that topic. For example, I went to the page on direct and inverse proportion. So then at the bottom of the page are some practice questions. So I wrote out the practice questions in my notebook and I answered them. And then what I love about this revision guide is that although it has the very simple answers in the back, you can actually go to the front of the book and it has a code for a free online edition where it has the full worked answers, so you can see where you pick up the marks, where you're going wrong, and just explain how to do the questions if you are so lost. And it just works through it step by step, mark by mark, and that's really important, really useful. So obviously I mark myself, and then I correct myself in purple, mark myself in green, and depending on how I did in that page I will highlight it in the index page. So I got about half of the marks on that one, so I highlighted it in orange. And then when it comes to re-revising things, I know where to focus my revision on again. And how I re-revise is using the matching workbook. So my tutor scribbled a load of stuff on the front of the page because he wrote the wrong name and just it's annoying me because he did it in pen and it's just a big mess. You can't. And this is great because it twins up with the revision guide, except every page is just questions in questions, so I can use them to test myself. This is actually just like the standard workbook one, but the one that I would recommend more is the exam practice workbook edition, because I have that one at school and it's so much better. Like, I don't know, it is really a lot more true to the exam style questions, and it also has the answers in the back, whereas this book is just like pages of questions. So yeah, I would recommend you get the exam practice workbook, not just the normal workbook, but I just thought I'd show you this anyway because it looks just like this. It just has exam practice workbook. Yeah. But yeah, CGP are the best, and they cover all the exam boards and all the topics, and they're really easy to understand, and I just really recommend. And then another thing I do when it comes to learning formulas is I'll write it on a post-it note, which is an orange post-it note because that is the colour that I associate with maths, and I will just stick it on a door or a cupboard or a drawer, and then I can't go through the door or open the cupboard or the drawer until I've like read the post-it note, and that way, just as I'm going through my daily day life, I'm learning. And I do it with all my subjects, and my house is literally just like fluorescent squares of knowledge everywhere. And another thing I'd like to add is I used to really struggle with maths. Like, I don't know, it's like I'm in like a top set, but I never felt like I belonged. Like, I was like, I can't do maths, I'm just winging my way through it, scraping B's somehow, and there was so much I felt like I couldn't do. I felt really unconfident. I really worried some days that I wasn't going to pass. Like, genuinely, like, sometimes I was like, what if I don't pass maths? And what I did was I got a tutor, and I got a tutor through school, and I know not everybody can have tutors, and I know not everybody can get a tutor, because if you can't do it through the school then they can be quite expensive. But if you can't get a tutor, then just try and set up a few one-to-one revision sessions with your teacher, even if it's just like after school for like an hour once a week, because it honestly helps so much to just go over the things that you feel completely like you can't do, and the revision guide isn't helping you, and you need just like a one-to-one tuition. And another thing is that I used to do with my tutor is we used to go through we used to go through past papers together, and then I would go through it, and every time I'd hit a question where I'd be like, okay, if I was sitting this in the exam I wouldn't know how to do it, then we just straight up go through it, and then I learn, and that's a really good way to learn. So, on to the subject of practice papers. Oh my god, so I have a whole folder just full of practice papers here. Practice papers for maths is the best thing that you could possibly do. Like, once you've revised all your topics the way like I just showed you, always try and be doing practice papers. My teacher at the minute is giving us like one practice paper to do as homework a week, so I'm kind of like having to do it anyway. But even if I wasn't, I'd still try and do one. But even if I wasn't, I'd still be trying to do them because they're so useful. And my absolute favourite website in the world at the minute it's so lame, but it's called fastpastpapers.com, and it's so easy because sometimes it's so hard to find the past papers that you need, and you just have to like dig through the exam board websites, and it's just like, where are the past papers? So basically you just type in fast past papers, and then it comes up with and then it's like SATs, GCSEs, A-level, you click on GCSEs, and then it's like Excel, OCR, AQA, etc, etc. You click on your exam board, you click on your subject, boom! You click on your subject, and then all the years come up, you click on it, and it just straight uploads the past paper as a PDF, and it's just like, there we go. Like, you're like 5 clicks away from just a practice paper from one website, and it's just, they have it for every subject and every exam board and every qualification, and it's just like, it's amazing. I get a little bit excited every time I have to use it because I'm like, fast past papers! It's really good. So yes, I'm so lame. And of course, when you're doing practice papers, so important that you mark them. Use the mark schemes, they're on past papers as well. So just the same as you would when you're doing practice questions, use like a green pen to mark and then a purple pen to correct, and that way your corrections stay in your mind if you're improving. And then just track your progress, see if you're improving, and see where you're dropping marks, and yeah. So that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Sorry if it was a bit rambly and I was just like, there's just like so much I could say for maths. And I was trying to cram it in, and I need to film another video and I need to go out, and everything's a bit rushed right now, but yes. So So if you did enjoy them, please give me a thumbs up, because it's like, oh yay, people like this. And then also feel free to comment down below some subjects that you'd like me to cover in my next video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. We hit 800 subscribers, yes, 2 days ago. So yay, thank you so much for that. Like, that was like, we only hit like 700 a week ago, and now we're like 800, and it's like, oh, yay.
Another thing is, since recording this, we hit 900, and I can't exactly remember when that was, but now we're at 966, so thank you so much. And it would be amazing if you could help me reach 1,000. And thank you so much for the growth and support recently. I really do hope that these revision videos have been helping you. So yes, feel free to subscribe, and thank you so much. I really do love you all a lot, and it just means the world to me, so thank you.
Subscribe. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Sorry if I'm just really hyper. I'm not used to filming in daylight. I think it's just like, but yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.